Hi everyone, I finally got my hands on this, the Timex Q Chronograph, and I got to say there's something special about it. Timex has been on a roll lately, bringing back retro inspired watches, and this one it's got that classic 70s racing chronograph vibe, a little bit like the Paul Newman Daytona, but of course without the crazy price tag. So, is it actually worth picking up? Let's see. Alright, so the packaging is pretty standard. We have got the watch itself strapped to a pillow. First impressions looking at the watch? It's stunning. It looks like $1,000,000 outside the box. Then there's some documentation with user manual. And that's about it. This model is the TW2W51600UJ, priced at around 14,500 rupees here in India. Not bad for a chronograph with this kind of vintage aesthetic. And man, this thing looks even better in person. Like cameras don't even do justice. The subdials, the rich blue dial, and the dome crystal. It all just works. Okay, to start with the first impressions, the watch has 40 millimeters of diameter. It's just right size for most of the wrists. I thought it will be a smaller because of the tachymeter bezel, but it fits correctly on my wrist. The watch looks heavy and bulky in the pictures, but trust me, in real life, it's much more sleek. Obviously, 13.5 mm thickness is too much for a quartz, but it doesn't come in my way for day-to-day wear. And the brushed stainless steel finish with a hint of polished sides give it a clean and very vintage aesthetic. With a 46.5 mm lug to lug, it actually sits pretty comfortably, even on smaller wrists. Dimension-wise, it's very similar to my Seiko 5. So if you like that fit, this will feel right at home. This version comes in deep blue dial, and wow, it pops. The contrast between the white subdials and the blue base give it that classic panda chrono look. The date window makes a surprise cameo at 4 o'clock, a small detail adding functionality to the watch. The markers and the hands complement the dial perfectly. Then there's the Timex branding with Q at 12 o'clock. Now the lume? Yeah, it's not great. It's there technically, it's barely useful. But in reality, not impressive at all. The watch comes with an acrylic dome crystal. To be honest, the dome crystal gives the watch a lot of character. It is destined to scratch easily, but hey, it's also easy to replace than other crystals. Maybe that's the part of the vintage charm and the price you are paying for it. One thing that got me select this watch instead of the other reissues is the bezel. Basically, the overall function. That is the chronograph. To explain the dial quickly, the left subdial is the actual seconds tracker. Then the bottom subdial is to track minutes in the stopwatch. And the right subdial is for 24-hour markup. The pushers for the chronograph are slightly on the firmer side. They have got a slightly spongy click which may require some time to adjust. And check out the sweep of the chronograph seconds hand. It's smooth, clean, and honestly it feels very mechanical. Okay, quick history lesson. Back in the 70s, Timex launched the original Q series, right in the middle of the quartz revolution, or like watch enthusiasts like to say, the quartz crisis. The Q literally stood for quartz, and these watches were all about being affordable, reliable, and stylish. Fast forward to today, and Timex is crushing it with these reissues. We have got the classic Q Timex, the Q Timex GMT, and now this chronograph. The retro vibes are back, but built for more modern wear. Alright, so the bracelet. Honestly, it's okay. It's a flat link stainless steel bracelet. It looks good and has a sturdy feel. The bracelet sits on 20 mm lug width on paper, but in reality it's around 19.5 mm, which makes it difficult to fit on other straps. The clasp though, easily one of the worst I have seen. Timex really could have given us a standard clasp instead of this flimsy push button thing. And also, it doesn't go with the watch at all. Inside, we have got a quartz movement. No surprises there. It's reliable, accurate, and low maintenance. But here's the best part. Timex kept the battery hatch. So you don't need a watchmaker to change the battery. Just pop it open with a coin, swap the battery, and you're good to go. And for durability, the watch comes with 50 meters of water resistance, which is okay for occasional splash and decent for this price point. So, should you buy this watch? Well, if you love vintage inspired watches, want a fun chronograph with a bit of history, and don't mind a few quirks, then yeah, this is a solid pick. for a surprisingly less price than the US market, for around 14,500 rupees here in India and approx $250, that is around 20,000 rupees in the USA. It's a stylish, reliable chrono with a lot of charm. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. I have got more watch content coming soon, so see you in the next one.